Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer, welcome back to American Truck Simulator, and welcome to the 1.37 patch beta. Very unexpected. I saw this, about 20 minutes ago, immediately downloaded it, and let's read through the patch notes right quick, and then we'll get rolling. We just picked up milk. We're in Reading. We just picked up milk. We're going to take it down to Sacramento. So from the patch notes, vehicles, food tank trailer, ownable. That's what we have on here right now. We got a 53-footer, 4-axle, steerable, if I can get out here. Yeah, carefully. Stainless steel. Very nice. Very nice. Features. FMOD implementation. FMOD is the company that does sound for video games. FMOD implementation with all existing sounds and few improvements. Openable windows on all trucks. That is very cool. We'll get to that in a minute. AI movement and sound behavior improved, all thanks to FMOD. Walking camera in truck or trailer configuration screen. Tell you about that in a second too. I have a theory. Tobii eye tracking made some improvements there. I don't use eye tracking. Mod. In-game sounds completely re-implemented for FMOD. Engine power range data instead of boost value. Exhaust gas temp gauge animation. All right. AI data tweak. Engine power instead of torque and gearbox. Vehicle mass override for trailers. Now I've disabled the majority of the mods that we were running. We weren't running many, but I disabled them just the same. And so what you're seeing and hearing, hopefully, should be an accurate representation of base game. I just didn't feel like starting again, and, it's not so much the base game truck that I mind, because really, when you look at this one, that's pretty vanilla, It's the trip length and, what you can haul. I will probably go to, I think I can get in front of this person right here. No traffic down here. Hopefully we don't clip. And we don't. Beautiful. It's the trip length and various other things. I didn't want to just be stuck hauling little short haul trips around, whatever city we started in, LA or Phoenix or wherever. So, what can I tell you about FMOD that I've heard so far? I mean, it's great. It's absolutely amazing. There's a big panel right here with sliders for everything. You can really dial the truck in as far as what you want it to sound like. And the windows, people really have been asking for it for a long time. I saw that in one of the developer announcements. Not the patch notes, but I saw it a couple weeks ago. They said people have really been asking for this. And they have for a long time. They've been asking for that. They've been asking for smoke. Everybody wants to roll coal. So, yeah, they're getting there. I really am impressed with SCS this past year, and I think they're doing their absolute best to make this game what the players, what the community wants it to be. Now, this is something they seem to be working on as well, although, yeah, a little bit better. A little bit better. In the United States, ripple strip. In the United States, the way that most people are taught to drive. Pardon me while I put these windows up. Beautiful. The way that most people are taught to drive in the United States is when you're on an interstate, as you get to an interchange, you move to the fast lane if possible to allow emerging traffic a little bit more room, and so they're not looking in their wing mirror and seeing you coming up at 85 miles an hour. I would like to see that implemented where the AI traffic does move over and give you a little bit of room when you're merging, because what I end up doing, you can either stop at the bottom of the ramp, lose all your momentum, and also not super realistic. That's not typically how you get onto a freeway in the United States. And again, I was taught when I was learning to drive, don't do that, because now rather than accelerating from 35 to 85, which is dicey enough, now you're trying to accelerate from 0 to 85. So whenever possible, maintain your momentum. Safely, of course. So I'd like to see that implemented, but the AI does seem to do a little bit better, because it's either that, stop at the bottom of the ramp, or pull over onto the shoulder, cheese it a little bit, and essentially trick the AI into coming to a complete stop on a freeway, which is also not super realistic or immersive. So that does seem to be slightly better. And I know they're going to continue working on it. I would also like to see the AI respond to turn signals and beacons, but you know what? One step at a time. Next stop will be smoke, maybe, although I don't know if they can with this game engine. I'm told that they cannot. Right. We did pull out all the Jazzy Cat packs. And so you noticed as we passed that police vehicle right there, we've been having that render problem with the draw distance for wheels and tires. That's fixed. When we pulled the Jazzy Cat packs, they seem to be rendering just fine. So apparently Jazzy Cat and SCS have some conflicting ideas about draw distance. But that is resolved. And other than that, just we lost a couple light packs. We lost the Alex D 5500K lights. I pulled out all the trailer packs. But we own so many trailers in this profile. I think we own about 50 trailers. So we lost like 10 of them that are mod trailers. Not a big deal. They just come up as not available in the menu, in the trailer menu. And if you try to select one, what it's done is dropped in just a generic base game trailer as a workaround. So not a big deal. I'm not really missing any of the mods that we pulled out. And I have no problem driving a base game truck. I just don't want to drive a vanilla base game truck. If that didn't make sense when I said it earlier, that's my beef. What else? Oh, as far as being able to get out and walk around the truck in the garage and configuration screen, I hope where they're headed with that is that at some point you will be able to get out of the truck in the world and go back and do manual hookup. Optional, of course, as all things are in Truck Sim, but I would really like to see that. I think the idea of hopping up behind the headache and hooking up your lines, I think that would be a fantastic idea. But as with advanced coupling and everything else, turn it on, turn it off, as you prefer. Now, there is this big panel with all these sliders, and I really like this because you can dial the truck in to sound exactly the way you want. I prefer a little bit more engine and a little bit less exhaust, but it's really, I mean, the difference between window up and window down, we'll put the window down again. And as in the real world, it is like night and day. I mean, modern vehicles, contemporary vehicles are so well sound insulated that people have actually asked for, and a lot of performance car makers have either active electronic sound being brought into the cabin, right? There are microphones and transducers on the engine, on the transmission, on the exhaust, and it plays the sound of the car to you in the car through the audio system. Other cars use tubes, right, to bring sound into the cabin so you can hear what the car is doing. That's more critical in a performance car. You need feedback via sound to know what the car is doing. But just in general, I think we get sort of numb to the fact that modern cars, contemporary vehicles, including trucks, are very, very quiet inside. And so I think it's been a challenge for SCS to come up with a nice balance. Those sliders are I think, a great fix because you can dial it in the way you want it to sound. But just the idea that we can put the window up or down, and when we put it down, it gets louder. It's a small thing, but it's such a cool thing. It's such a big thing. Really, really glad that they brought that to the game. And I do hope that we can have manual hookup as well. Smoke, I'm indifferent. It would be nice. It's one of those things, can't be unseen. And in the same way that, carefully, in the same way that, early race sims didn't have things like cars reflecting off of each other. You got two shiny race cars, and when one passes the other, nothing is reflected in the doors. Well, we have that now. We have shadows. Early video games didn't even have shadows. The vehicles did not cast shadows. Well, we didn't really expect them to. It was early days. Now, right, not only do we need to cast shadows, but they need to be the same resolution, very smooth, same resolution as the rest of the game. Can't be unseen. Play an older video game and the absence of shadows, the absence of reflections is just jarring. It's off-putting, unnerving. So it's one of those things. We'll get there. And once we get there, looking back at the games that we used to play, we'll say, God, how did we live with it? So we'll see how things work out. And it could be that the implementation of smoke will be, we didn't realize how much we needed it and what a difference it makes in the game. But we'll see. I have no inside baseball on that. That's just me thinking out loud. But yeah, I continue to be impressed with SCS. What a great company. And I continue to be impressed with sim gaming in general. Just what an amazing time, to be in sim gaming. And they're pulling for a vehicle inspection. Don't mind if I do. Now, this is where I had one of my game crashes. So let me go ahead and say goodbye now. So if we do get a game crash, this will be the end of the video. And if we don't get a game crash, well then, we'll just keep rolling. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out The Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of American Truck Simulator. This is the 1.37 beta. We'll see you next time. Take care now. But see, I haven't left. I'm still here. God. It's having a YouTube channel has got to be one of the strangest experiences of my life. I'm really having a great time. I hope you are too. I'm really enjoying this, but golly, it's so weird. All right, 79,000 pounds. That's not all milk, but that's a lot of milk. All right, it was right up here. It was right up here where we had that game crash. Through here. Right about here. What was I talking about? Oh, the Golden Age. Yeah, there's, depending on who you ask, different people say there were different golden ages of gaming. This was the Golden Age. This was the Golden Era. And it's true. I think there have been several high water marks historically. I don't know if this is one of them, but here's the thing. We play sim games. We're not even on that trip. You know? We play a different kind of game, and because our games aim to be as realistic as possible, we've always got that benchmark to refer back to. What are sim games trying to be? Well, they're trying to be the real world. Oh yeah? What's the real world like? Stick your head out the window, man. Walk out your front door. That's what the real world is like. We've got that reference point. You look at something like the Star Wars franchise, which has, ups and downs. And what are they trying to base their games on? Well, a little bit of both. Obviously they're human characters. Well, I mean, there's different species and different types of creatures in the Star Wars universe, but you know what I mean. You typically play, the protagonist is typically a humanoid, right? And so there's that aspect where you got to keep it somewhat realistic and somewhat, things a human could do. But other than that, even within the very rigid canon of the Star Wars universe, there's still some flexibility versus something like a race sim, where all you're trying to do is make a race car that handles in a way that is accurate to the real world. So, I don't know. As far as Golden Age, for me, I would say this is the Golden Age of sim gaming, simply because technology, oh dear. Simply because technology, here we go, is allowing these games to be, can we not just go over, oh, no, this might work. Or maybe it won't. No, okay. I thought I was being clever. For some reason, I was thinking that this ramp then reconnected. But why would it? Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. All right, so we'll go through here. Where are we at on time? 13 minutes. All right. All right. What was I talking about? Yeah. If you want to make a realistic sim game, all you need to do is look to the real world. If you want to make a good Star Wars game, you've got a lot more going on. And then on top of that, I'm just talking about the gameplay itself. Then on top of that, we got technological advancements changing the way games look. In another 3 years, 4 years, everything is going to be 4K. Everything is going to be 120 hertz refresh rate. And that's just going to be like a standard. That's going to be what people expect. Ray tracing, subsurface scattering, all that will be there in another few years. The price of cards will come down. Developers will make games to use those technologies. And that'll be it. That'll be the new standard. Like I was saying earlier about smoke. We don't have smoke in either of our truck sims. We don't really miss it, But I think once we have it, it's going to be something that we absolutely, I wouldn't say can't live without, but you know what I mean, right? We'll be so used to it that if you were to take it away, suddenly the game would look wrong and empty and not, something's missing. So I think in another few years, some of the graphics technologies that are coming to bear right now, if we ever saw a game without them, we would just be, no, that's not doing it for me. So yeah, for me, this is my golden age. I don't think there's ever been, for sim gaming, I don't think there's ever been a time like this where sim games were as good and as accurate. Get my camera reset. There it is. So yeah, drove a little bit in the daytime, drove a little bit at night. I don't know if we'll make it all the way to Sacramento, but we'll call it at 30 minutes. And yeah, this is a total surprise. I'm curious when it's going to drop for 1.37. Should be pretty soon. I'd say maybe within the week. And then we'll also have to see what's going on with Iberia and Idaho. Really looking forward to both of those. I've told you why. Once we get Iberia, we will have virtually all of Europe. And once we get Idaho, we can start moving into the Midwest. And that's where the towns get a little closer together. Towns and cities get a little closer together. And I mean, at some point, SCS can stall all they want, but at some point they're going to have to make Texas. There's just no way around it. And that is going to be a big project. I feel like Texas and Russia are so big that, I mean, I think it has to be one DLC. I don't think you can charge people twice for that. Let's find a good gear here. But I do think it could be the sort of thing where, you know, when the DLC is released for either Texas or Russia, it contains like half of the land mass. And then in time, that DLC will be updated to contain the other half. There won't be a charge for the second half. But it's so big. I mean, Texas is, I know California was part of base game for ATS, and California's a pretty big state. But I think that's why it was part of base game. In a way, it could almost as easily have been Texas. That was the core, right? And then we spread out from there. Concentrating. Get that turned off. Because it gives you such a big base to start with, right? Like they wouldn't want to start with, I don't know, Connecticut. American Truck Simulator. The base game map is Connecticut. Well, it's like 8 feet big. That's no fun. So they had to start with a bigger state. I get that. But to add a state that big, I really am curious what that looks like. I mean, they could just put 3 cities in it and make the rest roads. You know, use the same terrain as Arizona or New Mexico. It does, a lot of it looks pretty similar. I mean, by the time you get into East Texas, that's more bayou and lowlands. But pretty much all of West Texas looks like New Mexico. It's just high desert, scrub, sandstone, that sort of thing. So we'll see. And then Russia, I have no idea. At some point, they have to add it. So we'll see how they break it down. That's how I would do it if I was a developer. I would make the DLC V1 and the DLC V2 not charged for the second half. But we'll see. And what else is going on? Yeah, I mean, nothing really happened in gaming. There was that huge amount of drops in mid-February, and really nothing since. So I'm a bit, not disappointed. I certainly have enough to play with. I got 2 Train DLC. Assetto Corsa just updated again after dropping a DLC. There's been updates for Race Room. There's been updates for R Factor. What else? There have been trailers for a motorcycle game and an F1 game. So there's plenty of stuff to chew on. I don't know, man. I mean, like anybody. Well, maybe not like anybody, but like a lot of people, I certainly am drawn to new stuff. Not necessarily novelty, but you know what I mean? Things that I need to learn about, things that I need to hear about and find out about. That always sort of, I gravitate to that. We're going to swing a little wide because this trailer does like to pull across the yellow line. All right, well, we are in SAC. So now we need to just find our depot. Yeah, the game is playing faster. I didn't see any notes for changes to the graphics, but the game is playing faster. Could be because we pulled out some mods, truth be told. But we shall see. Yeah, we're not running. I turned off freaking 64 graphics. They were working. I mean, the game was working fine. I don't think that was causing any of our crashes, but I turned it off just the same. What's happening right now? Why is there music playing? Why is awful music playing? God, make that stop. Please. I have no idea why that's happening. It is terrible. It's like I want to... You know what? I'm going to make a red light right here. Good grief. That must stop. Holy monkey. Audio. Radio volume is down. Music volume. UI music volume. Okay. Was that an alert? That is... If it is, hopefully that does not make it out of beta. That was terrible. What was I upset about? What was I talking about? I don't know. Something. Graphics mods. Yeah, I pulled out Freaking 64, so what you're seeing is what is in the patch. I didn't want to, you know what I mean? We're in a base game truck, base game trailer. I didn't want to bring a bunch of stuff in here. Here's the patch. If you look underneath all the mods, you'll see it. So this is as plain Jane as I can get the game, and as representative, as accurately representative of the patch as we can be. Right, 22 minutes. This might just work out. I didn't think we'd go a full 30 minutes, and I was curious if we would make it to the end of the video without a game crash. And, you know, that's not on SCS. We are running mods, a few. We are running mods, and it's a beta. It's a beta patch that's been out for less than an hour. So, of course, there's going to be crashes. That's the whole point of a beta patch. If you want your game to be stable, don't use mods, and don't roll forward to the beta. This is going to be a little tricky because this is kind of a big trailer. You got it. Oh, hey. Let's put the windows down now that we can. I'm going to be just absolutely spamming that now that we have it. All right. And of course, yeah. Of course, we went with the giant trailer. And this is... Oh, this drop-off is my nemesis. Right. All right. So every time we do this, here's what happens. Every time we do this, I'm bringing that up so I can see what gear I'm in. Every time we do this, I end up taking 75 swings, and I run out of brake pressure. So let's see if we can avoid both of those things today. Time, 22 minutes. It's going to take me 8 minutes to park this truck. Let's hope not. So first thing, we need to get all of our truck into the parking lot. And even that's no gimme. Even that's... All right, our lift axle is up. Now, if we crank this, absolutely crank it, jackknife, can we at least get it over far enough that we can then pull forward into the reserved parking? Yeah, doing okay. Doing okay so far. Oh, don't hit the H2. We may just continue, right? Okay. That's better than normal. So we need to swing it out that way a little bit, and then at some point we need to begin swinging it that way. And I can't see from this angle whether there is a trailer to the left of the bay that we're pulling into. That's a little too much. A little too much. All right, so we don't clip the side of the building. Is there? There is not. Okay, so we got a little room there. We may need to pull forward to straighten this out. But so far, we're actually doing not terrible. Oh, game. All right. Yeah, I don't think I can get it from that side. Okay, so what we need to do then is pull this way. I thought there might be. It was like it was going too smoothly. But we need to now, right, kick that over that way. And then this way. I will need to pull forward and come into it from the other side. Not a big deal. But of course we went with the biggest. Of course. All right. So now we go over here. And again, I just don't know if we have enough room to do this with this length trailer. Either way, it's going to be tight. All right. Pulling up in the grass. Yeah, I am. I sure am. No, all we've done is make a mess. How can we do this? I don't know if we can do this with this length trailer. I'm sure somebody can. I just don't know if I can. Let's see. What are our options here? I mean, you see what we need to do. We need to get this all the way into that corner. But I feel like we just can't, you know, we just don't have quite enough room. What can we do here? We can't come in from that side because of that other box. We can't, turn the beeper off. We can't get back into that corner. I mean, unless we go this way. All right, so if we go up here, right, like this, and then like this. We're gonna hit. So we need to be a little further away from that. So right out like here, right? So all the way over here. All right, now we're not going to hit back there. And then all the way over here. All right, like so. And now back into the corner. This might do it, might not. Oh, scuff those rims. Oh. But now, yeah, now we're at, God. Oh, game. We need to straighten this out a little bit so we don't hit the pole on the way back. And we still might. I mean, we won't hit it, but I think we may get very close to it. All right? Don't hit that. Oh, dear. Turn, turn, turn. Nope. Straighten that out. We do have it now. It's just this last little bit. All right, so we need to jack this over kind of radically. Yes. Yeah. Like so. Straighten this out. We could get it right there, but OCD says straighten it out, and so we will. But look at that. 29 minutes. No, that's not possible. After all that dicking around, we're going to end up at exactly 30 minutes. Oh, game. How I hate you. All right, there we go. Somehow that worked. There we go. Neutral. Set the brake. Lights off. Engine off. We unload. We are on time. We got paid. Beautiful. And there you have it. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out The Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of American Truck Simulator. This is the 1.37 beta patch. It's available on Steam if you're interested. See you next time. Take care.